Today we're going to be installing a dash cap on this 1981 Trans Am. As you can see, the dash currently has cracks across the top of it. In addition, there is warpage on the passenger side. To do this, we need to remove the A-pillar posts, the dash grab bar, the dash bezel, and also the other A-pillar post.
Okay.
First, we begin by removing the screw that retains the A-pillar post in. And you can use a mechanical screw remover, or just the old-fashioned way. You take the lower one off, and then you're going to take this upper one off. And a lot of times that won't pop right out in your hand. You need to also loosen up the headliner screws. I keep a baby wipe in because I have a bunch of children, so it makes it easy. And now we have that down. I'm going to remove the upper headliner trim. And we've removed the screw already. So we're just going to move that side headliner trim out of the way. And pop the screw here. Whoops! I'll pick that up. Then what you do, once you have the upper and lower screw off, the A-pillar post literally slides directly up and off the car.
Okay.
The next step is removing the glove box liner from your car. The reason we need to remove the glove box liner is to remove the dash grab pull bar. On some cars without this option, you will be able to skip this step. The glove box liner is held in by a series of Phillips head screws, which we'll be removing. These normally just plop basically right out for you. Whoops. And it's a fairly easy step. Now, one of the advantages of doing it at this time is if you also get some dye, you can reset the grommets. If you focus in on these grommets here on this car, they're horrible. The condition is terrible on them. And that's available also new.
You're on.
Using a 15/16 socket, you have a series of 4 bolts that run across the bottom of the glove box. You'll also have 2 bolts that retain the dash grab bar. Now, in the interest of time, we've already loosened up these bolts, and by doing so, we were able to remove the glove box door, which we'll be resetting to color. Now, we already removed all our screws for the glove box liner, so now the liner is going to come completely out. The reason we want to remove the liner once again is to access this dash grab bar, held in by 2 15/16 bolts, which we have removed now, and you simply pull the unit up and off the car. The dash grab bar is available new, as are the grommets. We'll be replacing these with new items when we reinstall them. As you see, it's a 3-piece set.
Okay.
The next thing you're going to want to do, and this is primarily if you're doing a color change, is to remove the under dash access panel. This was held in by 2 clips, which had a flat head on the bottom and then a turn on the top, and you would turn them 90 degrees and then they would pop off. Ours was held on by these clips, so we had pulled these clips, and down comes the unit now. Now, removing the dash bezel, you have a series of 3 screws that are held on at the top. You also have 2 bolts that are on the underside. Once again, I believe those are 5/16, and they're longer threaded bolts. Another thing you're going to need to remove is going to be the trim at the cigarette lighter. So we've removed our screws already. You simply unscrew this trim, and it pulls off with the lighter. What you're going to want to do, though, is you can leave all these trim rings on the dash bezel. You're just going to want to remove the dash bezel. And the reason, once again, is a color change. When we test mount the new dash cap, you'll see that it does cut short, so you can access the dash panel and remove it when needed. How you remove it is simply by sort of squeezing down Whoop. And those may pop off, and that's okay. And then it will literally lift up and off. Now if you have loose bezel rings like we did in this case, one may pop off, and that's okay. We now have a bare dash that is ready for the final prep before we put on our dash cap. What we're going to be doing is any high spots in the top of the dashboard, we're going to take a razor knife and trim down. This is caused by heat and age, and it's called warping. The dash cap has a back edge on it that will fold down over this, so what we want to do is just remove these high spots across the dash. Primarily on the F-Series cars 70 to 81, you'll find warpage on the passenger side.
Go.
What we've done is we've taken just a regular box cutting blade, and the area that was raised across the top of the passenger side, you literally just scribe into it and then pull and trim it out. Now the vinyl does wrap all the way around inside the dash, but our dash cap is going to cut over this lip here. Now as you can tell, we have a smooth surface, and by having a smooth surface, the dash cap's going to lay flusher, it's going to look better, it's going to be harder to tell you have a cap on. One quick trick that you're going to find too is ours had severe lift on the passenger side. Reaching up and underneath, what we found is there's a series of 3 studs that hold the dash to the cowl. On ours, the nuts that hold those in place were all loose, so by tightening them down, we were able to actually bring this down a little bit, and our fiberglass inner liner of the dashboard is in excellent shape on this car.